All right, let's talk about accessibility. But wait, don't tune out. I promise this isn't going to be about chores or checklists. We're going to look at it for what it really is, a secret weapon, a way to automatically make your UI clearer, calmer, and way more professional. So let's just dive right in. So, I want to kick things off with a question because I think there are some huge misconceptions floating around. What do most of us, especially when we're starting out, get totally wrong about accessibility? You know the usual suspects, right? People think it's just some legal checkbox you have to tick, or that it's this super niche thing for like a tiny group of edge case users. And my favorite one, that it's something you can just kind of add on later, slap it on at the end. Well, as we're about to see, that's all just wrong. Okay, this right here, this is the big idea. This is the whole thing in a nutshell. I really want you to let this sink in. If accessibility breaks your UI, the UI was already fragile. See, accessibility isn't the sledgehammer breaking your design. It's more like a flashlight that just reveals the cracks that were already there to begin with. So, what are we really talking about when we say accessibility? Honestly, it's just designing for the real world. This is not just about permanent disabilities. Think about it. It's for you trying to use an app in the bright sun with glare all over your screen. It's for that parent trying to buy something with one hand while holding a squirming toddler in the other. Or heck, it's for anyone who's just stressed or tired and can't focus. This isn't some edge case stuff. This is everyone UX. Okay, let's get practical. Let's talk about the real world rulebook. We're going to walk through a few super simple but really powerful rules. And the cool part is, when you follow them, you're not just adding accessibility, you're making your entire UI stronger and more intuitive for literally everyone. All right, rule number 1. It's a big one, but it's simple. Color can never be the only signal you use to tell someone something important. And check this out, you can see exactly what I mean here. On the left, you've got the bad UI. See that error? Just a red border. I mean, if you're colorblind or you're just outside in the sun, you might totally miss that. But look at the good UI on the right. It's so much smarter. It adds layers of signals. You've got the red border, sure, but also an icon and text telling you what's up. Same for the tab. It's not just a different color. It's also underlined. Its position is different. Now there's no way you can miss what's going on. And this is so important. This isn't just for a small group of users. This simple change helps anyone using a cheap, low-contrast screen. It helps someone who's super stressed and just quickly scanning the page. What you're doing is building a tougher, more resilient design that works for everyone in all sorts of situations. Okay, next up, this rule is about the absolute foundation of your UI, the text. And the rule is dead simple. If your user has to squint, your design has failed. Period. And man, this example just says it all. Look at the left, that wall of tiny, cramped text. It literally gives me anxiety just looking at it. It feels stressful. Now look to the right. All we did was bump up the font size and add some breathing room between the lines. It's the same exact words, but doesn't it just feel so much calmer, more professional? It's just easier. And that's the big reveal right there. We didn't add anything complicated. Accessibility just removed the friction that was making the design bad in the first place. It just let the content breathe. All right, next rule. This one's huge because it's about what happens when things go wrong. Your error messages can't be a dead end. They have to help the user, not just blame them for messing up. Oh, we've all seen this one. The classic, useless, something went wrong. Thanks for nothing, right? It just makes you feel anxious and stuck. But compare that to the good example. Payment failed because the card expired. Update your card and try again. Wow, that's a total game changer. It takes a moment of panic and turns it into a clear, simple instruction. And guess what? There's a simple recipe for this. A great, helpful error message always has 3 ingredients. 1, what happened? 2, why it happened? And 3, the most important part, what to do next. It gives the user a clear path forward, instead of leaving them stranded. Okay, so now let's put it all together. Let's see how these simple rules create what I like to call an automatic upgrade. We're going to take a look at a real-world example and watch a design go from fragile and stressful to solid and professional, just by applying these ideas. So here's our before. Picture a pretty typical checkout screen for a food app. You know the type. The buttons are kind of small, you're squinting to read the final price, and if something goes wrong, you have no idea what it was. It's not terrible, but it creates this low-grade, constant stress while you're trying to pay. And now, boom, here's the after. We just applied our rules, and look at the difference. The main button is bigger, much easier to hit. The confirmation text is crystal clear. If there's an error, it tells you exactly what happened. The price is super easy to read, and all the little buttons are bigger. Look, none of these changes are rocket science, but when you put them all together, it completely transforms the entire experience. So what's the actual result here? It's not just about a badge that says accessible. It's about real business and user outcomes. Checkouts get faster. People make fewer mistakes, which means less frustration and fewer support calls. And the whole thing is just way less stressful for every single person who uses it. That's a huge win. Okay, so as we start to wrap this up, I want to zoom out a little. Because following these rules, it isn't really about the rules. It's about developing a professional mindset. It's a design discipline. I mean, just think about it for a second. Why does an accessible UI just look more professional? Well, it's because it feels calmer, right? There's less visual clutter, less friction. Everything feels intentional, like it was put there for a reason. And all of that adds up to something really important. It feels trustworthy. You trust it more. This is exactly why the best designers, the senior folks, the leads, they obsess over this stuff. They get it. They know accessibility isn't some extra credit assignment. It's a core part of the craft. It is design discipline. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If your UI fails an accessibility check, it's not just some technical thing you missed. It's basically a guarantee that it's going to fail a real person in a real-world situation. So remember this. Accessibility isn't extra work. It's just what good design is. Thanks for tuning in.